Y'all, what's up? Chad Wright coming to you here once again on the channel, Team Righteous. And I know it's been a little bit since I came at y'all. Usually coming at y'all with a little bit of stuff about the car back there, but I got some new stuff that I'm working on here at the house. Done some cleaning around here, and wanted to get back into the bike thing. So with that being said, this is something I had whenever I was at the old shop. Picked it up from a customer, brought it to me, had a lot of issues, so it's going to be a big one here. We're going to try to see what we can do here with this video though. Big shout out to Brian Gillespie. Got a build table from him so we can get back into building engines and stuff as well. But anyways, we're going to go back over here. So we got this 2007 GSXR 750. I've never heard it run, so I don't even know if the motor in it is good or not, but whenever it was brought to me, it was electrical issues, and said that the motor wasn't knocking, but he just didn't want to spend the money on it that it was going to take to fix it. I'll show you up under here, if I can get it up here. So yeah, this is all the wires and stuff down here, which is crazy stuff going on here. Everything going every which way. I don't even know how the motor ran. These are the throttle bodies. They're literally just like laid up here on top of it. Now they may have been like sitting on top of where they go to, but it had to have like the biggest vacuum leak ever. So anyways, we have got to, of course, strip off the entire wiring harness, because the entire wiring harness is trash. Of course, in the process of that, it killed the ECU, so the ECU is trash. I've got a wiring harness for it already, so we're going to go over that right there. Probably going to do a video about that. We will get this fairing off here, so we're going to go ahead and get the fairing stuff off too, because the fairings, like, this is all we got here is some ugly flame looking fender here, these ugly god awful broken up red fairings here, and then this right here is off of my old 750 and 600 that I had. So held on to it, and I've just had it on here kind of since then. This one here, this is the black one, so this right here was off my 600. I had a different one too, like one of those carbon fiber print ones. But anyways, also got a 0405 Gixxer 600 and 750 wheel on the back here, so that'll have to go eventually. Of course, it'll need chain and stuff. Not sure what we'll do with it totally. You know, we'll have to do some updates later on. But the first thing we got to do here, which is the reason why we are doing the video, is because we're going to tear this wiring harness off. And I kind of want to go over that right there with y'all, you know, why we do it. To be able to show you the ins and outs of doing stuff like that right there. So, going forward on my channel, I've, in the past, done some videos and talked about some stuff and done a little bit of stuff, but I didn't show everything that I was doing. So some of my videos may go longer in the future, but I'm going to go into more detail. So right now we're going to start off, like I said, with this wiring harness deal, and it will go from here to everything that it needs on the bike. I'll go over everything with you throughout this video here, everything that the bike needs. So things that I do know it needs, like I said, I know it needs a wiring harness, know it needs an ECU, know it needs a water pump, know it needs a fuel pump relay, I think, that we took off of it, and maybe a coil, but I think I may have replaced that one already. But anyways, we'll go over all the things this bike needs, and I'll go step by step everything that I put on it and fix on it and everything to get it back running. So that's the goal, is to get this thing out running, make a street bike out of it. Just give me something to ride back on the street. Still got the Wraith. It's still here at the house. It's actually in the kitchen. It's takes up a lot of room. It's sitting at like 78 inches or 76 inches or something like that right there. So it takes up a lot of room, but anyways, it is still here in the family. But anyways, like I said, we're going to get into this right here. I'm going to start ripping this harness off of here, and I will show y'all what I can. I don't have the right camera set up yet to be able to show you everything like I want to, but that will come with time as well. So anyways, appreciate y'all. We're going to get into this. All right, y'all, so I've only got like 20 minutes to work with this right now before I go pick my daughter up from school. But I'm going to start trying to take some of this stuff off, and this is kind of the first bike I've worked on, so all of my tools aren't really organized either, so if it takes me a minute to find some stuff, please forgive me. Get the gas tank off of here. Take a good start. I don't know if it's got anything holding it in. It does. There's a bolt stuck in here. It's just missing the spacer that goes in there. And of course the bolts are missing off the back of the tank too. Bike's a pile of shit. In case y'all didn't know that. So, see if I got a magnet over here. I don't. So, may take me a minute to get things back the way they need to be and organized. As much as I wasn't the most organized before with some things, I still knew where all my tools were. So right now, I haven't worked on anything in about 1.5 years. So I don't know where all of my stuff is. I know where it is, I just don't know where it all is. But we got to get this stuff right out of here. There's bolts in here. Kind of got me jammed up, so I'll be back at y'all as soon as I get it out. Ta-da! Hair needle nose, long noses, got her out. So I think for the most part it's in here straight, so we'll be good there. Just got to keep up with all this stuff and know where to put it at. Done a few of them, just been a while. Tank off, perfect. So a lot of this stuff I'm just gonna grab it off, and once I get done with this here today, then I'll start backing stuff up and putting it where I know where it goes. Of course, throttle body stuff is here for the airbox. I do have the airbox for it. I just don't have some of the other stuff for it. But unplug these injectors. It's been the next step we make here. And I will bring it over here and let y'all see what's going on now that I got the tank off as well. All right, so here we go. Kind of gotta see here and not keep my fingers in the way, but yeah, like I said, the throttle bodies, they were just laid up here. It's kind of weird how they done that, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get these right here off. Not with one hand anyways. May have to get a pair of little small channel locks or something like that right there. Get them off with, see what we can do here. All right, let's see if I'm gonna be able to do this while I got y'all here watching. It may end up changing into something else. I may not be able to show y'all if these things right here don't want to come off, and they don't seem to want to. So what I'm gonna have to do is use these along with a screwdriver, get all these off of here. But like I said, you can see the mess that was up under here. This is just terrible. You know, I understand sometimes, every now and then, you do have to go into a harness when you have some issues. But if you ever do it, don't ever leave it like that out there, because you're just going to run into a world of problems. And another thing, starter relay. This right here was laid up under the gas tank. Definitely does not go there, and it was so very close to grounding out against the bottom of the gas tank and could have ended in something terrible. So anyways, I'm going to get all this stuff right here off, and I'll be back at y'all after a while. All right, y'all, so here we go. We got this thing right here done. Got all these injectors unplugged and everything. And for those of y'all that don't know, the top injectors here actually are bigger injectors than the lower injectors. So the lower injectors are all you use basically for idle and basically your part throttle stuff. But when you get in the wide open throttle, it switches to 80% using these top injectors. And because the 600s and 750s make such high RPMs, it's got to be able to have bigger injectors to keep it up. Surprisingly, they're actually bigger than whatever comes on the 1000s and the Hayabusas. So not that they demand more fuel, they just got to be able to put out more fuel in the limited amount of time at, you know, 15 and 16,000 RPMs like they're able to spin up to. And don't have shop towels, so that's next on the list to get some stuff. But we're going to stuff these paper towels down in here, so that way we don't drop anything else off into the motor. Like I said, we're going to get this right here out of the way, and then we'll start tearing the rest of this harness off. All right, y'all, so we got the throttle bodies out of the way, and last thing we're going to do here is just start unplugging everything up here. So unplug coils and everything else. Rectifier was already unplugged because it doesn't even have a rectifier. You don't need a rectifier to ride a motorcycle. but it helps. So anyways, gonna get all this stuff right here undone, and then got to go pick up Kylie from school. So anyways, I'm gonna get some of this stuff right here knocked out, go pick her up from school, and then I'll be back, see what we can get done. May have a little bit more time this afternoon to get a few more things off of here. If not, it'll be another day, and we'll be back at y'all with some more updates. So there is the wiring harness off of the bike. So got all of that off of there, got the battery out of the way, everything else is left here. Rest of everything else here, most of it looks to be in good shape and everything, from what I can see, except for, of course, everybody hacks up front harnesses. This one here, surprisingly, I'm not seeing any rusty pins or anything. If you ever have issues with your dash, with your lights or anything up front, it's generally either this side or the bike side, the harness right here. These are get rusty, and if you keep some dielectric grease in there, it really helps out on these right here, because it's not very protected. The only thing that's protecting this is like a little cover that goes on the other side, and it's just basically an umbrella. It doesn't do anything hardly to keep it out. But if you look up in here, yeah, that's got hot because somebody switched out a headlight there, and it's got some LED light down there in the bottom too. Just basically a bunch of junk stuff. But if this harness here is still good and I can still use it, sorry about that. If it's still good and I can still use it, I'm going to. Like I said, this part right here looks really good, so that's really impressive. So that's good on that part right there. And this part right here that looks like it's melted is just on the headlight itself. So if I can take that there out and still use this right here, if these right here are what I'm supposed to have for the bike side, I don't know. I think I do have a headlight housing out in the in my shed. So if I do and it's still got some headlights in it, I'll check it out and see what goes in there. If not, I'll just Google it and see what's going on there. But anyways, got all that stuff there done, so everything is off of there. Now I just gotta go get the other harness, lay it out, and put it in here. Get rid of this right here. It's some stuff from my old CBD store. So still got it. But anyways, everything else looks good here. This is one of the atmosphere pressure sensors, and then you got some other ones up here as well. But yeah, I think everything's gonna be good. Hopefully everything's good. I haven't seen any metal in any of the oil that's leaked out yet or anything since I've had that water pump out, and it's made a bunch of messes since then. But I think we're gonna be good here. Coils are all in here and everything, so that's good. Just gotta make sure they're secured. So hopefully I don't waste all my time. The worst thing I'm gonna worry about is getting a water pump and an ECU and then fire the motor up and it's knocking. So that's gonna suck if it does. But if we can get everything on here, we should be good to go. So other than that, the exhaust on here, it's just the stock stainless exhaust. So we got the stainless header to here, and we'll talk about this right here later on, what's going on there, how these things right here work. This is your exhaust valve right there, and they usually are open and controlled by the computer, but this one right here doesn't have any cables going to it. So I'll go over that. And right there on the side of the engine, on 06 and up, 600 and 750s, the engine code is right there. I think on the 1000 started doing it in 09 as well, but that way you can easily see what motor is in the bike. If it's got an R, it's a 750, and I have to remember, I think a T is a 1000 and 600 is an N, I believe, and then Hayabusas are X's and W's. So anyways, we'll go over some more of this stuff over here. I'll make sure for sure one day I tell you exactly which ones they are, but I know for certain that an R is a 750. But if you're ever buying a 750 and it doesn't have an R there, then you need to know why. So anyways, yeah, this has got some junk exhaust on here. It's bolted on there. There's the muffler part. This right is the pipe that comes out the back of it, and that crap right there will be coming off. I'll just have to decide, am I going to just swap that slip on there off, put a mid pipe on it and a little slip on to it, or am I going to put it full of exhaust? So for now, it'll run like it is, so I don't really care. Just like the extensions and stuff, all the stuff up there can stay. They're good for now. We just got to get it back going, get it back running. Just like the brake stuff here, I know the brake caliper is going to be rebuilt and everything else, but we're not going to spend no money on anything until we get it running. So for now, I'm going to get the harness, see if I can find it, and put it on here. All right, y'all. So I got my camera girl here helping me out. Got Callie here. So anyways, I'm going to go over this wiring harness here. This is the wiring harness that I have to replace the one that's on here with. So we was talking a minute ago about the front harness here. Well, this is your front harness, and this is where it plugs up at. And this is what I was talking about when I called it like an umbrella thing. It's just a rubber thing that covers it up. And as you can see here, if you look at this point, there is a blue wire here that jumps around the outside of it. That's what happens when they start going bad. You have to jump them. So you have to go around from one side to the other. So this one has already been worked on before. I'll have to go in here and see which side I need to cut this off of, or if it needs to be cut, or what I got to do. But that is bad there, so we'll have to figure that part right there out. And then this is the other side. So these are the plugs for the headlights. Here's one headlight plug here. That one's good, but it's missing the ground out of it, so gotta figure out how to either get that pin in there, get a new plug or something, or just use other ones on there. But apparently they definitely do have plugs on them. This is the one for the high beam that's on the front, that's tore apart on that right there. So basically it does have a plastic housing. They just got it out of there. So I think we can make it work with the one that's on there. I think it's gonna be better. But anyways, the rest of this thing here looks good. I've went over most of this stuff here before, and I might be lucky because I got my relays here that I was worried that I'd taken off and sold off of the old harness, and these are right here. So that's a good thing. This plugs into the air box. This goes to the front. Everything else is here. Holes, fuel injectors, and I'll tell you a funny story about that here in a minute. Everything else looks like it's here, fuses and everything, ECU, so everything's there. It's even got a rear harness already on here, even though I've already got one for the bike, so that's good. So this thing here was a complete harness. This is harness front to back. Okay, so anyways, yeah, so everything here is complete. Like I said, the end harnesses may not be that great. I have to look at them, but I don't think I'm gonna need it because I think we got everything we need there. As long as we got a tip over sensor. We've got one thing that's cut here, and I'll figure out what that there is. But I did cut the tip over sensor off of the old harness, so that may be one of the things here that's missing here. I'll have to figure that there out here in a little bit. I might have to go over some of this stuff right here, but the majority of it, I got everything here to make it run, and if not, I can make it run either way. Even without the tip over sensor, I can do that right there. So anyways, I think we're gonna be good here. I'm going to lay all the stuff right here back out, hook it back up, and I'll come back to you later. Other than that, y'all got any questions? Got any questions? Good? All right, let's go. I'm gonna get this right put on here. We'll be back after a while. All right, y'all, so done a little bit of digging, investigating. Got the tape off of here. So they had this right here taped up, and both sides are connected. So basically, the pin where it goes in here, hole number 2, you can actually see some blue up in there where it had some corrosion. So I'm imagining that pin out there was bad. So of course they cut it off, put it on this wire here, done this hack job here, just spun the wires together with their fingers and then wrapped it up in electrical tape. The other side, on the front harness side, they had it over there on the other side there. They had it in a butt connector with the other wires, so at least done a little bit better job to keep it safe, because this is 12 volts going through here. But anyways, they had it that way, and then still had it wrapped up electrical tape. So it really wasn't the best job to get it done, but they done it and it worked. Now, when you're testing stuff, sure, stick it together, it works, cool. Take it back apart, fix it the right way. You don't have to repin it. I can see people bypassing these right here. I get it. But then if you ever got to take it apart, at least make it where you can take it apart. Put a butt connector here in the middle so you can take it apart and put it back together if you ever got to. But anyways, so yeah, this wire right here is red with blue tracer here. So your 12 volts comes from the battery, goes to a few different things, but it goes to the fuse for the signal wire. They're just rotted off anyways, and it just broke off. But anyways, it goes to your signal fuse, and then comes out of the signal fuse red with blue. So it's red coming from the starter relay, and then it goes from there to your fuse box, goes through the signal fuse, and then you go in here with, it changes the red to blue once it comes to the fuse. So it goes from here, and this right here is what goes to your speedometer and tach and everything. Sends 12 volts up to the front. You also got some other ones that come off of it that go to your starter switch here, so the kill switch here, and the starter button and everything. So that's all part of that as well. So anyways, without this right here, nothing works at all. This is literally the worst thing that can go bad. So they had to bypass it, whoever used to own this harness here. But anyways, so I'm going to try to see if maybe I can de-pin these and get the other pin out of the other bike, peel this back a little bit, and try to make this hair look a little bit better and do it the right way. Like I said, I can do it if I got the stuff to do it with. So I got the other harness. I think I can swap just that one out and it should be good. As long as none of these other ones are coming apart. Everything else looks pretty decent. I'm going to slap a whole bunch of dielectric grease on this right here, though, on both sides. And then the other side, like I said, the one that came with the bike actually was good, except for the headlight part that's been melted. So anyways, that clears that right there up, though, so we will be able to fix that right there. Just wanted to touch base with y'all on that right there. And I'll show y'all what it looks like when I get done with it. Like I said, not sure if I'll get it done today. It's actually still a little cool out today, and I may just come out and work on it tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 71 degrees, and then I think it's going to rain tomorrow night, but I think we'll be good. So unfortunately, right now, we're just on the carport. No big garage or anything. Probably don't plan on having one for a while, but I do plan on at least closing this area in here so I can keep in some heat, keep some water out of here and stuff. So anyways, like I said, that's where we are now. So when I come back to y'all, I'll come back with an update on getting this right here fixed and everything. But we just want to make sure all this right here is done right. And like I said, I know this probably isn't going to be the most exciting video ever. Definitely probably a far from one. But I just want to be able to show y'all more in-depth detail of, you know, how to do things and do them the right way. Because it's not the end of the world whenever you got to do stuff like this right here. And like I said, in a pinch to get you home, sure. You know, bypass it, get around there, you know, wrap it up with some electrical tape, whatever. But it's not that hard to fix these right here the right way. Having the right tools to de-pin these things right here, that's definitely a challenge. Getting these pins out of here, definitely. And if you don't have another one to replace it with, for sure. But like I said, even if that right there, just cut it off right here and then put a butt connector on each side of it, and, you know, add a little bit of extension wire to them. Of course, they'll reach, but put a butt connector in there, at least so they can be taken apart. That's the most important part to me, is like, if you got a male and a female, not a butt connector, sorry, but if you got a male and a female, you know, connector, at least you can make it where you can take it apart. That's the main thing, is like, make it accessible so you can use it again. Because in the future, you're gonna get here and you're gonna be working on something and you got to cut it, and then what are you gonna do? So you kind of get yourself stranded somewhere, you know, if you ever got to cut it, because then you ain't got no way to put it back together. I mean, they kind of have plenty of extra wire there, so you probably could have made it work 2 or 3 more times. But anyways, there's that. So I'll get to this right here, and like I said, I'll try to get these pins out of here if I can. It'll be awesome. I'll get one out of the other side and be able to make this hair look good. So anyways, I'll be back at y'all either later on today or tomorrow. All right, y'all, so here we are. I've got this right here put back together. So I got the pin out of the other one, got it back in here, same color wire and everything. And this is our butt connector right here. So I've got it on there, and I got some heat shrink. So I'm gonna cover this right here with this heat shrink, melt it down, and we'll be good to go. So I did get to finish it up tonight. I wasn't sure. It actually did fight me for a minute though, trying to get that out of there. So anyways, get that taken care of, and we'll be back going tomorrow on finishing this thing up.
All right, y'all, so we're back here at the house, or as I would call it, Righteous Bikes, here trying to work on this GSXR 750. So I've got a new setup here I'm actually trying out. I'm gonna see if it follows me around and everything. So it looks like it is. So we got a gimbal here for our cell phone. That's what I'm shooting my video with right now. The GoPro that I used to have, it kind of didn't hold up very good. It started getting hot whenever I'm trying to record with it, and then you can't even download videos off of it because of when it gets hot, it just starts shutting down and everything. So you start making things difficult. So anyways, we're gonna see, maybe this thing will keep up with me. Probably should have moved the 4-wheel before I got started, but it looks like it's gonna work. And the good thing was, is as I moved back here, it seems like it still followed me around, picked up with me. So I think things are gonna go pretty well. I kind of like it, so the other day when I was working on this thing here, this is about as far as I got, was getting this thing out here and then getting this one wire here fixed. So what I did to fix it is the old wiring harness actually was good here. The rest of it was shit, but this part right here was good. So I took the pin out of this plug here and got the wire from it as well. That way the wire matches on both sides. And then I'm going to run it through here. I'm going to plug it up to the front harness, and everything else should be good. Of course, I'm going to put tons of dielectric grease in here so we don't run into any more issues with any pins getting corrosion and rotting out and stuff. So anyways, I'm going to get to work on that. We'll get this thing right here laid out, and I'll show y'all what I'm working with here in just a moment so you can kind of see what I got laid out here. And then as I get it installed, I'll kind of go step by step what I'm doing as I do that right there. So anyways, I'll be back to y'all in just a second.
All right, y'all, so here we are. This is what I showed y'all the other day. It's probably a little bit easier to see now. But yeah, this right here, everything here looks well. Like this part right here is all good. This stuff right here, not so much in some of these parts. This right here is just the clips that are in there from the factory that are taken out of the housing, which is on the other one there. So I may end up putting the two together, but there's the plug-in for the low beam there, which is, or the high beam, sorry, the high beam's down at the bottom. So that's what's going on there. So I'm gonna make all this right here work together, of course. This is less of a concern right now though for me, just because the main fact of I want it to get it wired so I can get an ECU for this thing, and then once I get an ECU, water pump, a couple little things I got to get to make it run, then I will. But yeah, this is the other one. So of course there's the piece that we fixed on the other side, on the bike side. So this right here is where it plugged in there. There's the other wire, still looks the same color and everything. But yeah, so these are our plugs up here. This is what goes into the back of the speedometer, and then here's your ones for your lights. So this is the one that's up there on that melted thing. That's just the two metal pins. Not very safe, yeah, because you got 12 volts going out there on one side. If it grounds the other side, it just starts a fire. These are go to your little side lights on the headlight, and then here's this thing here, which is still got a headlight in there. So this side may actually be good, and who knows, I may just fix this side of the pin there as well, and let's use this whole thing here. I'm not sure. I have to look it over or just pick it apart, get the parts off of it I want to. Maybe that'd be easier. Take these right here apart. But anyways, we're gonna do that there later. Speaking of things that I got going on though, put up some new lights out here. So these things, you've probably seen them on some folks' TikTok shops and stuff, and they're pretty cool. They're really bright, and like I said, it's not even that dark right now, so it's still daylight out, like plenty of time daylight out, and everything's good. But these things right here are pretty bright. So anyways, forgive me if the video here gets a little weird with the camera moving certain ways. Got a gimbal, and I'm trying to learn it, trying to figure it out. I can control it myself some, but it also controls itself too to try to keep things level. But anyways, so I'm going to take this right here though, I'm going to lay it out here and get everything ready. But man, this stuff right here, for the most part, is all pretty simple stuff. Just make sure you plug it up. Almost nothing, I say almost though, but almost nothing can really be plugged into the wrong place. And while we're here, probably going to get rid of the pair valve here too. So those of y'all that ever had crackling popping out of your exhaust, this is where it comes from. Every bike's got a little bit different setup, but the way these engines work is you don't have any, you can't buy any pair of block off plates for this bike. The only thing you can do is to remove the pair valve or leave it there, and then put a hose from here to here, or just plug those off some way. Any way you can plug them off, marbles, something, plug them off. Or you can just leave the whole thing there and, you know, just disable it. As long as you disable it and, you know, wire these two wires here together, I believe it's the one that goes in there. You do that right there, and you can disable the pair valve code in the system, and it won't throw an FI light. And that is FI as in fault indicator, not F1, because it's not an F1 race bike. So anyways, but other than that, like I said, I'm going to get this thing and put it on here. It's just nice that it's not freezing cold anymore. It was definitely freezing cold the past few days here in Alabama. It's been down in the teens at night, getting down 14, 15 degrees, and the highs have been like 25 to 30 degrees for the past couple of days. So I was not going to be out here. So anyways, I'm going to get this stuff here laid out, wired up, and then I'll go back over whatever I feel like I can with you once we get that stuff right there done. Alright, so yeah, so you can see my light back there, but anyways, we're just going to run this stuff through here where we can. Alright, so basically what we're going to do there is get everything ready to go. So these things right here, they go on top of the air box. The rest of the stuff right here runs along the side over here. And then like here, you got a yellow plug and a yellow plug. So on the left side, for the left side controls, on the bars, you have a clip here that's yellow, and those two things go together. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop there because as I get ready to start on something, then I remember exactly what I said I was gonna do. Remove the pair valve. All right, y'all, so here we are, a little update here. So we've got the front side of the harness here plugged up. We got rid of the pair valve there. So let's see here, see if I can get this camera to do what I want it to do here. All right, so anyways, we got everything going on here. Got rid of the pair valve that was hanging up here, unbolted the bracket and everything that was there. Ran one of the hoses from one side to the other, so basically that's all it does is plug it off. I don't have any marbles and stuff to be able to block off the other hoses that was on there, but if that was the case, then I'd have two hoses and two marbles. You can do anything in there. You can put gasket sealer or anything in there. So, but anyways, we got most of it put back together here on the front part here. All the front controls are connected now. This stuff here, like I said, it goes to the air box, so it's kind of just in the way right now. But as I was putting our newer harness on here, yeah, this one right here doesn't seem to want to stay on because it's got a broken clip here. So we're going to run into the same issues what we did with the connector for the front harness there. We're going to have to depin this right here some way. So I'm going to have to take this thing right here apart and get one of the ones off the other bike. So we'll see what we can do. Either if I can get it to depin, I will, and then just swap the two out. If not, I'll cut this back a little bit and then cut into both of them here, and just, you know, put butt connectors on them here and put the two together. But anyways, that's a little bit of where we're at here, and I kind of mainly just want to show you where we was at with the pair valve. So like I said, that's how you can do it. Anything that can just basically shut these off so they're not pulling air in. The pair valve, usually between like 5,000 and 7,000 RPMs, it pulls air into the exhaust system. It's just for emissions. That's literally all it does. And so that's what makes your crackles and pops. But I don't like that stuff, and it doesn't help anything anyways. So we're going to get rid of that, and I'm going to fix this plug here, and then we'll continue on. But yeah, like I said, I got that going. Got one other thing. Oh yeah, on the plug for the pair valve itself, cam sensor is there. Where did the plug go for pair valve? Anyways, well, not the plug. There it is. That's the reason why I can't find it, because there's not a plug. So right in here, there's your two wires that was in the plug that went into the pair valve. So we just cut those and butt connected them together, put some heat shrink on it so it keeps it waterproof, and we're good to go. Anyways, a little update there, and we'll get some more stuff going here, and then we'll be back at it once I get this plug right here swapped out or fixed or whatever we got to do with it. Alright, y'all, so we are back here. Most of the stuff here on the GSXR has been wired up. I've got most of the stuff done. I'm going to go over a couple more things. I know one thing I still need to do is one of the injector plugs has got the clip broke off of it, so I got to replace that there. I already had to replace one that had a wire missing off of it. So this harness that I got whenever it was given to me, or I kind of traded for it. I guess I sold it, or I bought it, but I've done some work for it too. So anyways, whenever I got it,
I glanced over and it looked pretty good when I first looked at it, but wasn't the absolute best. So, but anyways, it'll do the job that I need it to do. Like I said, I can make it work. We're gonna go through and make sure everything else is good. So I'll like a few more things on that right there though, but other than that, it's installed. Now I'm over here working on the front harness. So I showed y'all that the other day. I'm gonna flip it around here and let y'all see it. All right, so here's what we got going on here. We've got two different harnesses. So this one here, hopefully the video is not like too up close. I don't really have a way to back it up or anything, but this is the harness that was on the bike. And like I said before, it doesn't have any pins that are, you know, rotted out or anything, or got corrosion going on with it. So I'm happier with this end right here, the plug-in that plugs into the bike harness. And then I'm not happy with this stuff here though. So this is this busted up, and I'm trying to think. This one here, it may be okay because it's the same as this one here. So I don't think I'm gonna have to change much there. Really, I think all the thing we really like is just I'm gonna nip this off here and then add this one to it. But this right here is pretty, actually much worse than what this right here was. I thought this right here may have been in worse shape than what it was, but really it was just them lights. They had some LED lights in there, and they're cool and all. They look good, but they usually generally just don't work in a housing that wasn't made for LED lights. So, you know, I've ran them myself on this particular kind of bike before, and had them also on my Katana back in the day, and no luck for that. So, but these right here, they look good. Slight little tiny bit of corrosion on one of the tips there, but I think we're going to be good. And I even think this plug right here is good too, so I'm not even concerned with it any. Everything else looks good. We got all the wiring still here, which is the important part, and then this is what plugs in to the back of the display, your gauge and everything. So yeah, so really all thing we're going to do there is get this right here off. So we'll try to get this tape off of here some. It's kind of got a bunch of tape wrapped around it, and this stuff right here, sometimes the factory does tape stuff up. Generally they don't on a lot of stuff, but little wires like this right here, I think it's easier for them to tape it because there is no other way around it. So yeah, so I'm gonna get this right here cut back, and then cut these off, put this other one on here that's supposed to be on there, and we're gonna put in the kind of bulbs that are supposed to be in there. And then I'm gonna swap to the bulbs that I normally run in everything that I have. And if you hang on one second, I'll show you those. So these right here, Osram, what are they called? Night Breaker lasers. These are the ones I run in my pickup truck, and I run them in motorcycles. I run them in everything. So they're basically the same thing as your Sylvania headlight bulbs, but these are the ones that they have in Australia. So this is the brand that they use there. And once I found these right here available either on eBay or Amazon, then I figured out that they'll work for, you know, or I figured out that I can get them for cheaper than what I can get Sylvanias for. Sylvanias usually run like $40 to $60 depending on what kind you get. So I think a pair of Sylvanias like these right here, like $60, and these are like probably half the price. I think they're probably around $25 to $35, just depending. And they may have went up. It's been a little while since I bought these. Bought them a couple of years ago, and they're actually still good. They're the ones for my pickup truck though, so they won't work in the bike, but they are a great brand. So anyways, I'm gonna get this thing here swapped out. I'll be back after a while. Nice. You also learned something new a minute ago. I can zoom in with this thing too. But anyways, all right, so we are ready now. I've got my stuff here ready, everything to do all this and get it moved over. So here we go. I kind of figure I'd do it on camera while I was at it. This is what I use for butt connectors. You can get these right here on Amazon, like a pack of 200 of them, whatever, for like $9 or something. I don't know what they cost. We use that. Of course, some heat shrink. You can get them in different sizes and stuff too. You can get these in different sizes. You can get everything in different sizes. And we will need our ladder. So, got it up here too. So we got everything ready to go. And let's see here if we can get this right here done. So take this right here, cut it off even here. Gives us plenty of room. Take this, cut it off even here. Gives us plenty of room. Strip our wire here. Not too much to it. See if I can kick this up a little bit so everybody can see. And kind of like this little gimbal that I got here. It's coming in pretty handy. It actually lets me do stuff with the camera, you know, while I'm sitting here doing this right here. And if anybody's watching this and says that I'm stripping these wrong or doing anything wrong, that's cool. I'm not an electrician. And it works. I haven't ever had any kind of wiring failure from doing it this way once I started using the proper connections and stuff like that there. I have used cheap connections before and had plenty of failures with those. So those little pieces that you clip in the lines and tap into a line with, yeah, those things right there will give you nightmares. So definitely had those kind of problems before. But and then other than that, this right is pretty simple. So you got one here that's black with brown, another one that's black with white, and you just make sure that you put them together the right way and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to take this, put it on here, and hopefully while I'm doing this I don't goof anything up, because I'm not the best electrician or electrical guy. I can make it work. I'm pretty good at it. I've learned some over the years from doing it, but the main thing I've learned is that when you do this stuff right here is take your time. And when it comes to taking your time, I was talking to one of my old customers just the other night on the phone when we talked about how I had his bike one time, and a job that I didn't charge him but like maybe 4 hours for or so took me like 3 to 4 days to do. But then I also reminded him that we also installed a nitrous controller on your bike. I just didn't tell you. So he had been fighting with how to deal with his nitrous system and all this other stuff, and I have one on the Wraith and I no longer needed it. So I was like, I'll put it on here, you can race with it, pay me whenever you can pay me. And he did right away, no problems. So I think I'm going to do this the other way and put these on here. This way I can still see my colors whenever I get ready to put these on. So that way I know which wire I'm going on with, because when I do it the other way it covers it up there. So we're a little short on that side. I think we got the right ones here. Black with brown, and black with brown, black with white, black with white. Okay. So 1000% sure, got the right ones. Go in there. And the cool thing is whenever you're making a YouTube video while you're doing this stuff here, you don't have to talk to yourself. It's not so weird whenever you talk to yourself but you're on camera, because now I'm talking to all of y'all, and I'm sure y'all are listening and think everything that I'm saying is pretty cool. So while you're at it, drop us a thumbs up or something like that out there while we're on here. And of course, put these in here, moving around stuff pretty easy. They come right back out. I think we're gonna be good though. Get this other one in here, get it set, and we'll be good to go. Like I said, just wanted to do something different on the channel too. I never really done a walkthrough like this right here, and never had the ability to do it. I never have, you know, a gimbal to be able to do this with. So having a gimbal definitely makes things a little easier. You can do setup like this right here. My old fuel pump video, it's gotten tons of views, and I've had a couple of them, a couple of different fuel pump videos. I've done one that was better, but it definitely has never gotten the views that the old one did, because the old one was the one that got shared so much and it got promoted a lot. And I never really did promote the newer updated video again, and figure people would just find it. But definitely promotion of videos definitely helps. So people that share our videos and stuff, I'm surprised at how much it makes a difference. Not surprised that people see stuff, you know, when you share it, but just surprised at how much views you get in that instance. So, but anyways, I got this right here finished up. So now I got this thing right here better. Like I said, everything else in here looks well. I think everything else looks good. I'm just gonna take this right here back up again so it covers it up. Hopefully I got some good tape. The cheap Harbor Freight electrical tape, it works to do little minor things and cover things up. But realistically, the Scotch or whatever brand it is, Super 33 tape or anything that's like $8 to $10 a roll or however much it is, I thought it was ridiculous when I can buy 10 rolls for $5. Like, why does this stuff cost so much? And I'm here to tell you, it definitely makes a difference. So, anyways, like I said, we're back here. We got this right here, this far gone. I think we're going pretty well here on the GSXR. It's actually nice and warm out. Oh yeah, we got a cool sunset behind us too. So, anyways, yeah, we got some things going now. Everything on here is looking pretty good. I'll see if I can flip it back around here. I wish this thing right here, it's the only thing I don't like so far is it doesn't let me when I flip the camera around backwards too, it makes it difficult to be able to trace myself with, but it doesn't let me flip the camera while I'm recording, I don't think. No, I cannot flip it, so I can't unless there's a button here. None of this. No. Okay, so yeah, so I can't flip it back around. So anyways, I'll flip it back around here in just a second and show y'all where I've gotten to. But anyways, like I said, we've done pretty good here. I'm pretty well happy with where we're at so far, and so I'll show y'all a few more things right before I finish the video for the day. Alright, so here's where we're at and where we stand on this thing right here. Of course, I got this right here out from well, that snapped back up there. So yeah, I got this right here out to get the front harness off. Got everything else up here done. I need to adjust my throttle cables, make sure they're right, and fighting these throttle bodies in. Like I said, I don't know if I told y'all this before, but these throttle bodies were not inside the throttle body boots whenever I got the bike, so I don't even know how it ran whenever the guy called me and said, hey, come get my bike, it's smoking. Like he said, I was trying to ride it and got that. So other than that, I got those in today. They were a pain to get in, but I got them in. They're in there and they're clamped down like they're supposed to be and everything. All thing else I like, and this right here is something that I thought about not doing, and especially as hard as it was just then to get it off. But the clip right here is broke, and I know how I am. I will get pissed off when something's acting up one day and I can't figure it out, and it's this injector plug here like vibrated off or something. So I'm gonna get that there replaced. I won't really show that to y'all, but got that there done. Everything else is plugged up. This is the side stand switch. If you got a side stand that is fighting you and giving you issues with the switch, or you just don't care to have the the side stand switch working, like, you don't have to have it. You can have the kickstand down in gear and it will go. Just don't die, because if you do, don't blame Team Righteous. We are not responsible for stupidity. I do enough stupid shit on my own. But yeah, so this is the starter solenoid, and like I said, not sure if I mentioned this before too, but it was here up under the tank, and that's where his smoke was coming from. It was arcing off against the bottom of the gas tank, which is not a very good thing. That's 12 volts and about 3 or 200 and something cranking amps going straight to the gas tank. So anyways, I got to get a cap for this and then put this down here. Some bikes, it really doesn't matter so much because of where you mount them at, whether or not you got a cap on them, because they don't get anywhere near frame. But this one right here is right next to this aluminum here whenever I lay it down and put it back in the place it's supposed to go. And this is broke, so take care of that. This is for the tag light, and it was already ripped off, so no need in fighting it, But other than that, everything else here is in pretty good shape. Now we just got to get a tip over sensor and then get some other stuff. We'll be back at it. So anyways, appreciate y'all. Let's see if I can get this thing here to spin back around here to me. A little slow. Maybe I can get focus on me here. I don't know if it wants to or not, but we're gonna try. So anyways, I'm gonna sit here, stare at the camera, and maybe I'm looking at the right place. So anyways, not sure about if the lights are working, but anyways, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to clean up around here for the night, and then get ready to see if I can start making a parts list for this thing. So I know a few things. Like I said, I need a cap there. I need a couple more things. I got to fix this one injector plug, and then, like, I know I need headlights, but I don't care about headlights. I just want to get it running. So I'm just gonna go over the things that I need to make it run. So tip over sensor,
cap for the starter solenoid. Need some bug spray because I got mosquitoes flying around now since it's starting to warm up. What else we need? Just a few more things. I've got the airbox for it. I gotta go back in the back and find it. I think it's in my shed. So, but other than that, we're starting to come along here on it. So I'm going to finish up the wiring portion of this, and I may touch up on the video a little bit more before I close it out. But other than that, we're just about done with what I can show you in this video. So I don't want to keep this thing going too long. And let me know down in the comments below, though, what do y'all think about this type of video? If you're still here watching the video, I know it's a long video. Hopefully you at least came back to try to catch up on it. It is a long form video. So anyways, like I said, just let me know down in the comments below. What do you think about this right here? And in the future, I plan to do more videos, like way more in depth than I ever done before. A lot of my old videos before, I would talk about the things I've done and do the things and then just show you the end results. And part of that was I didn't really want to take the time to make those kind of videos. And two, a lot of stuff is already kind of well known with, you know, how this stuff here works. But this right here is going to be a little bit different going forward on the channel. I'm going to go in depth. I'm going to go into the builds, the engine build stuff, transmission stuff, anything I can show you. And that's the reason why I said I want to get different kind of camera setups and stuff too. That's the reason why I'm glad I got this gimbal now, so we can make some changes to the channel and make some changes with Team Righteous. So this is Team Righteous channel, and the name of the shop now is called Righteous Bikes. That's what we're doing here. Car back there. I know y'all seen the car on the channel if you've seen any of my other videos that have come out in the past year. This is Righteous Rides, so I'm doing that too, trying to expand the brand. That's what we're trying to do. So anyways, appreciate all y'all. I'm gonna finish this stuff right here up, and I'm just going to cut the video here because y'all have seen pretty much what we can do here. So appreciate y'all for watching this video, though. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We're definitely gonna have some more stuff going forward. I know the channel didn't get to grow like I wanted it to in the past, but I promise you, if you subscribe to this channel, you're going to be happy with the content that comes out going forward, because I'm going to show y'all some stuff that probably most people won't show you. There's a lot of industry secrets and stuff that don't get put out there too much, and it's totally different than the car world. The car world, all the information is out there. It's just a matter of can you pay for it. Bike world, it's all big secrets. Everybody's big hush hush about it. So we're going to try to go in more depth with a lot of this stuff, a lot of this racing stuff, and see what we can teach the world. So anyways, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.